snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin, and you are now tuned into the very first Loading Snacks Weekly of 2024. How is everyone?
Let's go.
Hope it's wonderful. I hope your new year was safe. And I hope you ate good. Because we did.
Definitely did that.
We did. I want y'all to know, I think I had the best itis I've ever had. I just want to start there.
I'm not mad at that. I'm right behind you.
Let me tell you something. I don't usually sleep through the night. I usually sleep for a couple of hours, 3 hours, maybe 4. Get up for like an hour, maybe 2. And then sleep for like another 3. What's up, Doctor Who? Happy New Year. New Year's. Snoozing. Woke up, it was a new day. Never happens. I was like, what?
Yes, I was up still a while after we got off. I had
what you mean day one-ish? It's day one. It's the first weekly. It's not the first stream, but it's the first Loading Snacks Weekly, Cuddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, once we got off, I didn't go to sleep till like 4. Okay. I was
first. I know you in the Yeti.
I had to finish getting slim.
I know you was up, and you know I was up because you texted me. And I was up. You know I was up, and you know why I was up. Still eating, still Popeyes and pajamas.
Yeah, once I got rid of him, heat up some more food, threw something on like some animes and start catching up on. I was up like 4 or something.
All right, so check this out. Jokes is going to be joining us. He's on his way.
In transit.
So, yep, in transit. He'll get here when he gets here. Yeah, I know Jokes will jump in right before the show ends. So like
facts.
Be here when he gets here. In the meantime, Sin is going to get the Beacons link up for everybody.
Yep.
Again, Beacons link, best way to just follow us across the board. That's really helpful. What else is really helpful is hitting the like button, sharing the content. That really does help push us. Oh, Lord. Listen.
I knew he meant. Gotta line them all up and knock them down this.
Let me tell you something, Cuddy. I don't do the wrestling references in my show. If it ain't related to Ric Flair, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know that's not it. That's not the one. Again, by the way, that's out. Happy New Year, Moss. Beacons, best way to follow us. Again, like and share. Really just helps push it out there. I do want to make sure that I did this a couple of weeks ago, but I want to make sure that I shout out our lurkers. I know that there are people who watch and never comment, never post. 2 things. 1, I hope everybody feels like they're in a place that's safe enough for them to comment if they want to comment. Please do so.
Absolutely.
Right? If you feel it, if there's something that you're thinking. I used to be the kind of person that I don't type very fast. Somebody would say something I was going to say or, whatever. Right. But, even if it's just a couple of words, you know what I mean? I agree. I disagree, something like that. Right. Allow yourself to become part of the conversation because the fact that you're here. Well, hey there, lurker. So just, know that 1, this is a safe space. So, feel free to comment. We don't expect that you're going to agree with everything that we say. We might disagree with you live in public right here, but we will always be respectful. I just want you to know. As long as you're respectful. So just, keep that in mind. 2, again, comments, regardless of what platform you are on, help the algorithm. Just comments tell the algorithm, tell the internet, the AI, Yeah, you're right, Cuddy. We only really pick up Baby Joe. We don't even really call him that no more. So like, it's like when it's over,
That,
it's over.
that,
Yeah, commenting just tells the algorithm that people like the content and they're interacting with it, and it helps more people see the content. So, again, it's just another way that helps us. Truthfully, the best way to help is to jump into our Patreon.
hey, you get the hammer.
Exactly. That band hammer is pretty serious, isn't it, Frosty? Domingo found out like his first day, and he part of the team.
Right.
You can get out. So yeah. So just again, keep that in mind. The best way to really help us and support us is through Patreon. It does bring dollars directly to us, which is very helpful to us for us to keep doing what we're doing. Fact of the matter is, we are a small business, right? We have traveling expenses. I'm not gonna look. I don't know what y'all know about businesses or small businesses. There are some write-offs involved in some stuff that you can do, right? But like in a lot of it that you can do if you handle things the right way. But it doesn't change the fact that things are expensive and they get more expensive, and that we are doing more and more shows, and looking at traveling further and further. We are being asked to go to places that are more expensive to get to, whether they are flights or train or by car or hotel stays or whatever it is. Some of the events that people are asking us to come to, like Dragon Con or MomoCon, are like a week long, 7 days long. Like they're not, you know what I mean? They happen during holidays, which makes it more expensive to travel and makes it more expensive to stay and things of that nature. And so we would love to go and do those things. We would like to get coverage from those places. We would like to bring you faces you haven't seen before. Not that we can't continue to do that in the area and do local, because we love continuing to support what is happening here locally, because the talent pool in this area is so grand. Like it just it's ridiculous. And that talent pool for us has extended, up through New York and down through Virginia, and in some cases further down. But we want to do more, right? We want to go to other places. And when I say other places, I mean like, I don't know if y'all knew that there was a Puerto Rico Comic-Con, but I did. And you know what we trying to do?
Puerto Rico Comic-Con.
Like, there are things, right? There's other stuff we want to do. So again, all of it is helpful. We appreciate everything that we've gotten so far. We love you guys, and we're very happy that you've been along on this ride with us. We're just gonna keep riding. We're gonna keep riding regardless. See, that's what I'm talking about. Want to go to Puerto Rico? I mean, Frosty, I intend to make it happen. I'm just telling you now. Like, Sin, how long ago did we discuss this? Like, I sent this to you. Like,
this was
I don't know.
Yeah, a while back. Yeah.
In terms of recently, it was within the last like couple of months. But we started talking about it like a couple of years ago.
It's like a couple of weeks.
Like,
we talked about it with Kay.
Yeah, we brought it up and sent the new one because new dates.
Yeah.
Just trying to see what's going on this year. So yeah, I mean, not all Comic Cons are the same. Not everybody Comic Con's the same.
No. That is facts. Curious what Puerto Rico Comic Con looks like. Just put that there.
Just you know what I mean? Sin, you have a job to do.
Yes, I do. Let's throw this up real quick. Happy New Year, Anthony. So yes, let's shout out our top tier patrons. Starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very, very much. We truly appreciate it.
Facts. Today's topic, self-destruction. No, today's topics, agenda, include this yellow, blue makes green. Amazon price hike. The possibility of a new Kang being cast, and our 2023 backlogs. For those of you who are
we still have the Popeyes and pajamas ticker out.
Oh, we do. We definitely do. I can fix that. You want to fix that? I can fix that. I don't know if you can fix that. Watch this.
Yeah, the way this thing be happening.
Wham! And thanks.
Perfect.
So again, just prep for the later half of the show. I want to know what you all's 2023 backlog looks like. Pop culture content you just didn't get to last year. Stuff that came out last year. TV shows, movies, games, whatever, right? It's sitting on the backlog. We're going to talk about what we feel like we missed and what our plans are for getting to it. So yeah, so like just kind of start thinking a little bit about what's sitting on your back burner, and while you're doing that, let's talk about what Amazon is doing. I think most of us here in the chat have Amazon Prime. And I'm not sure if you saw, but Amazon did send an email out to everyone who has Prime, basically saying, hey, at the end of January 2024, we are adding ads into Amazon Prime Video. And if you do not want ads, you can pay an additional $2.99 a month. Sin, were you aware of this?
Yes, actually.
Okay. I don't think I need to ask how you feel about it, because I already know. What I want to do is discuss how the internet seems to feel about it. Here's why. Right now, what I'm seeing online from people is Amazon netted like $5.5 billion last year. Meaning that they made $5 billion. Not like they took in $5 billion. Nah, they took in way more than $5 billion. $5 billion is the addition. Like they netted.
Right.
That's spendable cash.
Yes. Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So people are like, there is no way. Like the way that the email is worded is like, we are doing this so that we can continue to bring you the best content, so on and so forth. Like, play me a small violin. You know what I mean? Whatever. And people are like, Slim, for the amount of dollars. First of all, y'all laid off a rack of people last year. Like, shutting down game studios, letting people. You made $5 billion. Have any idea how many homeless people you could feed with the amount of money they brought in? Now, look, I know in business, the point is to make more money than you did the previous year. I mean, I get it. I will also say that we went through a period like towards the early part of last year where ad revenue started to dry up. People got over the pandemic and started to leave their houses and stop looking at their phones and started going outside and doing things outside. And you were not seeing the same kind of numbers on influencer pages, YouTube pages, podcasts, and so forth that you were seeing before, when people were just like stuck. Right. And so, right, it makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of that ad revenue gone. And on the back half of that, That is true, Cuddy. They do have NFL money now. Which is,
Happy New Year's,
I mean, look,
Alfonso.
what's up, Alfonso? Let's keep it a buck. Amazon made enough money to pay to have NFL money. Let's not get it twisted. Like, they're paying the NFL to have the rights to show stuff through the NFL. However, they have to translate that money, what it costs them to pay to get the NFL on Amazon. They got to pay for that somehow.
Right.
They intend to pay for that
Through us.
either with your $3 or with ads. Period. Now, I think the same thing happened in Netflix. So, Netflix went up to like $25 if you don't want ads. Everybody basically did that. Let's not even just pick on Netflix. Everybody basically did that. They now have an ad version and a non-ad version and basically just converted you over or whatever. Netflix, I think, did it because Netflix is trying to break into gaming and they are giving you a bunch of free stuff. If you have Netflix, there are just games that are there that you can play. And I feel like most people don't watch Netflix on their phone. But if you open the app, there's just tons of games you can just play for free. I feel you, Ellis. Allow the ads. Help Ellis have a job. I mean, there are people who work in advertising, and that's what they do. They got to get it to you.
Facts.
I mean, it's a job. I'm going to keep it a buck. I love you, Ellis. I ain't finna watch no ads.
Nah.
Here's the thing. I can't even say that, right? Like, here's my problem. Commercials in television were not intrusive because television was recorded knowing that there were going to be ads, and they would put breaks in the way that they shot things, in the way that they recorded things. They would give you a minute. Now's the perfect time to go to the bathroom or take a break from whatever the tension is that's happening in the show you're watching. Whether it was a 30-minute show, an hour-long show, whatever it was, television was shot, written, and edited for there to be ads. They don't do that anymore. So what happens now is ads actually feel intrusive. And I think that's a lot of what the difference is. When I am listening to something or watching something, also accept all cookies. Got it. I mean, why not? All the cookies. So we can track. When I'm watching something or I'm listening to something, a lot of times an ad just happens.
Yeah.
And it breaks the immersion.
Yeah.
Right? It kills what you are attempting to enjoy. So in sending back to those people who are responsible for making sure that ads make it into things like that, I want the people who are making ads to find ways to make them feel less intrusive.
I can agree with that. It makes me not like your product if it keeps on happening. Like, stop interrupting what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, and that is something that's chosen by whomever the content creator is, right? Like, they say, yes, we want to allow these people's ads on, whatever, right? This company's ads. But I think, when you do that, you just, anything they can do to find a way to get content in front of you, they're going to. You know what I mean? I think it depends on whether or not you're talking 5-second ads, 30-second ads. I think it depends on how often they are interrupting you in order to get that message in front of you, right? If it's something that like plays before it starts and then plays when it's over, we're going to skip the one that's when it's over anyway. We already know that. Right. Like, you already know it. So they're going to do something in the middle, right? If it's something that plays beforehand, which Amazon does anyway. Amazon runs ads for their own stuff. When you watch stuff, they run ads for their own stuff on there beforehand. So they're already kind of doing it. And here's the thing. I will say I disagree with this. Would ads have made Falcon and Winter Soldier better? Nah, I mean, but it wasn't bad. So,
They just shot the
you
lion's share
know,
out of it because of the
would
pandemic.
it have made it better? I, maybe if I would, maybe ads would have made Falcon and Winter Soldier better if they were making money off of it and could have put more money into it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Yeah.
always gonna be the the catch 22 of if you want content, you have to pay for content because they have to have money in order to make content. Like that's just what it is. We've been fighting keeping ads out of video games forever, and it doesn't work. Like there are always ads in games in some
Yep.
fashion. Um, but it's that we don't want those ads to break the immersion. And I think anything you're enjoying in terms of content is the same way. You just don't want it to break the immersion. So I think a lot of it is about finding ways. Look, I'm sure some of it is going to be targeted, again, based on cookies, based on stuff you're already watching, what the algorithm and the AI is telling it. This is stuff that you're interested in. You click something that said you're a man and you like sports, and so that means they're going to put, you know, stuff about men's deodorant. Power. Like it's going to be, stuff like that or whatever, right? Will be the ads maybe you get. And what you see as ads might be completely different from what, or probably will
Right.
be completely different from what somebody else sees, right?
Of course.
I guess targeted ads are less intrusive if it's stuff that you are actually interested in or you otherwise wouldn't know about. Still,
True.
I'm gonna tell you now. Hey, right? I mean, they gonna get my $3.
They gonna get your 3?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know anybody who pays for Amazon Prime Video. I don't know anybody that pays for Amazon Prime Video.
Right.
I know people that have Amazon Prime and they happen to get Amazon Prime Video with it. And even if they use Prime Video all the time, or when something they really like comes out, like The Boys or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a thing they have. They're not paying for Prime to get Prime Video. They're paying for Prime to get the shipping.
Right.
That's it. The free music, the free video, all that. Yeah, Ellis, targeted ads are great. Cough, cough, accept all cookies, cough, cough. I mean, I would much rather have targeted ads than not. You know what I mean? Than it just be a bunch of stuff I'm not interested
The
in. But
random stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
interested. But I'm also interested in a lot of things that like they just won't know because my algorithms are kind of crazy. I like a lot of different stuff. Still, I mean, we'll see how it turns out, right? I mean, look, I don't think there's any stopping the train. It's happening,
No.
right?
Everybody's with these streaming services, like you said earlier, they're all doing it. Is find a way to get that ad revenue back. That's what they're doing.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way: I think a lot more people are likely to give up every other streaming service before they give up Amazon Prime because they're not there for the streaming video anyway. It just happens to be there,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as people drop Netflix, which is happening because it's too expensive, and drop Max, even if it's just because it's not HBO Max anymore, and drop Peacock. You know what I mean? A lot of these streaming services is looking like we're going to see a lot more consolidation, and a lot of these companies begin to going back to leasing their content to other streaming services like Prime and like Netflix, right? And these other companies, because there's money to be made in it. They don't want to have to pay out the royalties to the actors and actresses as they attempt to create their own stuff that goes straight to streaming. And so if they continue to make shows and content the way they always did and lease it to those who stream, there is also the possibility. I mean, it could go either way. It could come down some because they're like, well, we're making enough money getting it from them, but probably not.
WWE and SVU.
I mean, here's the thing. I think there's a high possibility that again, Peacock chooses to give up some of it. You're catching up on the DCEU since it's on Netflix now. Heather, you are wasting your time. I know you know better than that, Heather.
You don't need to do that to yourself.
I actually though that tells me that you just didn't. There's a bunch of stuff you just didn't watch, which is also cool. But again, that's crazy that WB has their own streaming service, but they put all their movies on Netflix. That tells you that what they're trying to do is not working. Everybody having a streaming service is not working. And they might see numbers jump up for a moment, but then they're seeing it come back down.
Yeah, when a new show pops up they want to see. When new Game of Thrones comes out, people, all right, I give you a couple dollars for that season, right, and then, cancel.
But again, if you have a show that's that hot and you decide to lease that show to if you have Netflix and Amazon fighting to see who's going to get to stream it, right? And who's going to get to stream it where, there is a lot of money to be made if you have hot product that they want to have to stream. And if they have to pay you to get it, you make the money off of it. You know what I'm saying? And stop worrying about having all that stuff. Heather says, I have to do it same way I had to read Twilight Saga so I can criticize from an educated place. Fair. You watch every DCEU film so you can be right here with us when we talk trash. Because we talking trash. What up, Jokes? Welcome to the show.
What's good, gentlemen?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we're going to see a consolidation. We saw it all blow up, streaming wars, and everybody like fighting to try to get content. And then as everybody was fighting to get content, the content owners started going, why should we be letting them get the content when we can just make our own? Well, because yours is terrible. Your UI is terrible. You have to hire people to run it. And you don't want to pay that, right? So allow the experts to do what they do, right? I would be okay if it was just Netflix and Amazon and maybe Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd be okay to keep it a buck,
selling
right?
out money for all these just to watch all the different programs. It's just ridiculous,
because the reality of it is WWE being on Peacock is only a thing in the US. Yep. It's not like that anywhere else. The WWE app still exists. So realistically, because it already exists, if it goes away from
Peacock, and it's just the pay-per-views too.
Yeah. All they did was move people who had it. So it ain't really no point, to be honest. And I think it's going away. I think 2024, we're gonna see a lot of that start to dissolve.
Back to the ways of old.
Yep. Yeah, because people are just at the point now where they're like, man, I started doing this so I wouldn't have to deal with cable. And now I might as well have cable.
Going right back to the way it was before. Add them all up together for all the different ones you have. Like just like I know you guys were talking about the Prime and adding on the $2.99. It's like, what is making? Obviously, though, Prime I have for shipping and all that good stuff too. But it's just like
exactly. Well, that's my point. Like Amazon has an edge that no one else has.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't know anybody who has Prime for the video. I don't know anybody. Like, I ask people, like, you got Prime Video? And they be like, yeah, I got that. And I'm like, do you have Amazon Prime? And they're like, yeah. Then you have Prime Video. They don't even know for real. Like,
yeah,
$139 a year, right? Pay it once. You're good for the year. Here it is. You know what I'm saying? So an additional $60 a year, though, is a lot. You're talking $200 a year. But it's not $200 a year for Amazon Prime Video. It's $200 a year for free shipping. Not just free shipping, free next day shipping, free same day.
Same day.
Free one day shipping, free pickup around the corner, right? Plus Amazon Music, plus unlimited storage for all your photos and like 5 free gigs of video storage. Like there's so much you get. Heather said other stores have bad UI UX for no reason. Disney Plus is going through the same, do something. So much lag after a show. I mean, again, they're incorporating Hulu and ESPN all into one app in Disney Plus. That's probably a lot of what you're seeing is them doing that. That lag started as they began to incorporate Hulu in. They haven't done ESPN yet, but they are going to because they want it to all be in one app. So they basically want Disney Plus to look exactly the way Amazon Prime does. When you go into Amazon Prime, it's like, oh, well, here's the Showtime joint, and here's the like you can pay extra to get those other things so you can watch those other shows. Amazon is not only streaming. The difference between Amazon and every other streaming service is that, well, not every other. There are a couple others like a Vudu. You have all this free content that you can stream, including content that they make. But then there's a ton of stuff you can just buy and pretend to own through them, right? But after what happened this year with PlayStation, and them losing Discovery and people having stuff that they paid for like years ago that they're just like, oh yeah, well, you don't have a license no more. It doesn't matter that you pay for it. Can't watch it anymore. People are in uproar. People are also becoming much more weary of that kind of thing, right? So the more you can get everything in one or two places, the better people are going to feel about it, right? And people know, oh, I'm paying for a streaming service. I'm not buying the content, quote unquote. Right. And so if that content isn't available, you sort of understand it's a licensing thing, and maybe it'll come back, but it probably just goes to the other streaming service, like the one other one that's there, which isn't the case right now. So look, they probably gonna give me my $3. I love you others. They probably gonna get it. I don't really watch it that often, but I have to. Let me tell you something. Jokes. When does the second half of Invincible start?
Oh, he's
done.
He's done. Yeah,
he's done.
I want to say April. I want to say April. Let's look it up.
Everything was fine, and then Jokes showed up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't think they gave a date for when the second half of Invincible was coming out, but I think it's incredibly smart that they gave us the first half of the joint, and they were like, "You're getting the second half after we add ads." That's what makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Sam, while you figure that out, let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about this dude, Coleman Domingo. Because the word on the street right now is that Coleman Domingo. What happened?
No release date yet.
I told you.
Yeah.
It's going to be February 1st because they start ads on January 29th. Like, they about to just be like,
about right. What's February 1st?
By the way, here's your Invincible with your ads. Dog, if they put ads in the middle of Invincible, dog, I'm gonna have a
I ain't got no shit, so
Hey, listen, I don't know what it is. Find an Amazon original on Netflix. I believe it. I believe it. Again, because if you're Amazon and you have a show that's that good, even if you consider Netflix your rival, Netflix still has to pay you. It's kind of the Microsoft thing. It's like Xbox owns games that they have on other platforms because there's money to be made there. Right. So if you're Amazon and you make a show and it's your show, sure, have it there. Try to get people to come there, subscribe, whatever. But again, I don't know that people actually subscribe. Did people join Amazon Prime because of The Boys? I don't think so.
Join Amazon Prime? No.
I think people were like, already got it. Bet. Let me watch it.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm sure they saw their peak numbers go up and their viewer stuff go up and all that, which is great. But did they see a bunch of people join? No. However, if you don't have it, if you don't already have Prime, you're probably not getting it. But it's likely if you don't have Prime, you do have Netflix. So if Netflix is like, we'll pay you to have your show, to license your show and have it on our platform. If you're Amazon, why wouldn't you? That makes sense. It just does. And technically, it is the same thing that has been happening for decades. As for as long as Netflix has been around, other companies have been allowing that, which is, other companies have been basically allowing them to stream, which TiVo makes a lot of money because of that. And I know y'all don't hear TiVo very often, but it absolutely still exists, and they do a lot of work for your streaming. They control almost every DVR on the planet. They getting it. Like TiVo is responsible for almost everything. In terms of streaming. Jokes.
Yo.
Coleman Domingo. Do you know who he is?
Nope.
Do you, Sin?
No.
Yeah. Slim is not a household name. However, my man has been on Fear the Walking Dead basically since the beginning.
Well, that's why I haven't watched Fear.
Hold up.
Uh-oh.
He was on Euphoria past year.
Stern. Okay. I know what that is. Yeah.
He's older than Jonathan Majors by like 20 years. He's in his mid-50s. And, but again, Kang could be whatever age, for real, depending on how they play it. I mean, look, here's the thing. We've already talked about whether or not we think there should be a recast for Kang. I'm kind of in the camp of don't recast, but I feel like they've given themselves an out to be able to do it. That's where I sit. Do you think it's a good? I mean, it sounds like they might. That is what they're really considering. And again, look, it may be that it's just going to be like something in one film or one thing or whatever, just to kind of get past whatever Kang is. It might not even be that. Oh, we're still. They changed the name. They're not doing Kang Dynasty anymore, right? So,
he could do it.
You think it matters?
If they decide to do it? One, I think he's a solid choice. Whether it's a one-off or if they actually keep pushing with Kang being a bit bad, I've like I said, watched The Fear, so yeah, he could do it. But I'm kind of leaning towards just don't recast him. It's kind of like just how I feel. Find a way to just tie it up and write it out and continue going forward. With another direction.
I kind of like if we can put a bow on it. Like if this is gonna be to like complete the Kang, I'd rather not leave the Kang story, just out there. Don't get me wrong; it's something they can always go back and revisit. But I feel like with the stride that it's been in, and clearly already doing the connections in different places, I think we should at least try to tie that story up. Whether it's we cast him to be the same Kang, and then somehow transition into another big bad.
Let me ask you a question, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Kang tied up? Didn't we? I mean, for all intents and purposes,
Kang is done. Like they know there's variants out there, but he could just stay quiet for the rest of the.
But isn't Kang too big of a character to abandon? I don't think so.
Not necessarily.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, look, here's what I think. I think they played it very safe. I think that the way Loki ended, and I'll try to avoid spoilers or whatever for people who didn't watch it or whatever, but I think that the way Loki ended, it gave them an out, right?
Agreed.
There's a version of him that is defeated. Yes, there are variants out there, but then they kind of give themselves an out by saying that something happened in the 616, but they handled it, right? Which in and of itself, the way that Ant-Man ended, it seemed like, well, he ain't die. He just got sucked into some other version of the quantum realm or whatever. So they beat him now, but he'll be back kind of thing. But them just making that statement at the end of Loki was like, if they handled it, they can't find him anymore. Then as far as we're concerned, he got beat. You know what I'm saying? And that's
by the Ant family.
By the Ant family of all things, right?
Right.
So if that version of him has technically been defeated, and he who remains has technically been defeated, They never revisit Victor Timely and tell us what really happened with him, other than showing us him as a kid and him not getting the book. Yeah. Meaning he never becomes what it is that he had turned into to save the TVA in the first place. So I actually think that they put themselves in a safe space to be able to say, nah, Kang's story is wrapped up. And if they don't revisit it at all, they could actually get away with it. It's not neat. It's not neat by any stretch of the imagination, but it's done. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of ways where they could just, a one-off sentence could be like, oh.
Thanks, Rico.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. If there is, again, it could be a one-off somewhere that they just don't, they make a mention and he got defeated somewhere else and that was it. Buddy says recast. No reason to throw out plans for one movie. When actors die, they recast, so it's not that big of a deal really to recast. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Look,
they didn't recast T'Challa, so I mean, different reasoning.
Correct.
But
I also think, look, I think everybody understands why they have parted ways with Jonathan Majors, right? And what's going on. So I think when people, it's very different than recasting Rhodey. Let's not even try to act like they're the same thing because they're not, right? Recasting Rhodey is the same thing as recasting Aunt Viv.
Yeah.
In reverse, though. Light skin for dark skin.
Right.
However, you know, I think the way that they handled recasting Rhodey was handled sloppily. But this is the very, very early days of the MCU. And dog, it's Don Cheadle, bro. Which I would have took Don Cheadle over Slim any day.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle way better, bro.
He fits so better casting. Fits way more perfectly within the Avengers and MCU and what's going on.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. It is what it is. Now, Slim might be a great actor. I think if they cast him to do something with Kang, it's not that he won't be great. Again, I think people can accept it. But there is a part of me that feels like what has been going on with Kang has been handled so sloppily that it might be better just to move on. Just to be like, you know what? Deadpool 3 is the only MCU movie on the slate for this year. That's it. And has the potential to rewrite everything anyway. Literally.
Won't be mad at that.
So now you're talking about bringing in all the X-Men, which opens up a whole different can of everything. You don't have to touch Kang.
Will he show up? Will Coleman show up as a Kang in Deadpool 3?
He absolutely could.
Hey, good.
He absolutely could. And he could die in that joint.
Right.
Wade gonna make short work of it.
He absolutely could, because now you're no longer stuck only being able to use villains that were Avengers villains. You now have X-Men villains. You now have Fantastic Four villains. There's a whole slew of people that you can pull from to make enemies and still have somebody else be a big bad at the end of the day. They don't have to have Kang. Kang was a brilliant way to go, because how else do you top Thanos if you don't have access to Doctor Doom, to Galactus, to what else do you do? And if you do Kang, how do you follow that up if you don't have
everybody else?
Yeah. Who else do they fight? What do you do? Right? So I think it actually makes sense. For real, I'd be okay if they ran it all the way back. He wasn't the dude. They put in a new big bad, go after something else, and Kang shows up at the end of all of it and is like, guess what? Now I'm the actual threat behind this joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could take Kang and reuse Kang in 10 years.
as a revisit. Like, just say, you know what? Don't finish
Yeah.
it now. We just like you said, we have a there is a bow.
He's in that micro little thing or whatever, and he'll get out eventually, like you said, and eventually he's next thing down the line.
Something
He
breaks
shows up,
and this dude
and
shows
everybody
up.
listen. In 10 years, he shows up like 20 movies down the road, and when he shows up, everybody's like, "Yo!" It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now people are like, oh my God, it's Kang. And it actually feels like it's important because up to this point, Kang also hasn't felt important or powerful or any of those things. He doesn't feel like, for all the trash he talks, and as good as Jonathan Majors is, he wasn't Thanos, bro.
No.
He got beat by the Ant family.
I was about to say, Sin said it the best.
No, ever since he got beat by the Ant family, I have not felt any fear to this dude. I'm like,
Scott Lang was going hand in hand with him. It's like it shouldn't be a thing.
You are a big bad, bro.
Even with that, because again, he got beat by the same people who he just told, "Oh, are you the one with the hammer?" Like, "Oh, you punished Thor? Or you a threat, Slim?" Nah, these ants got you. So like, so the thing is, right? Even with that, and again, I think Jonathan Majors has been incredible in doing all these different versions of Kang, showing the flexibility in his acting skills and so forth has been great. What he hasn't had is the charisma that these villains have had throughout. Mm-hmm. He's not a Killmonger. He's not a Thanos. He's not somebody who you're like, you know what? I feel for Slim. I actually care about what he's going for.
He doesn't have that reasoning behind that I can be like, you know what, dude? I can get behind. Like, it just seems like you're just evil or someone like, I don't know, killed your puppy and you're just like.
Nah, because that's John Wick.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, that's Wick, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the thing that Kang was lacking. Kang was lacking a motivation that I feel like the audience could understand. It's not all the other things. It's not about whether he's powerful or not, or if he's an actual threat. He's not maniacal the way the Joker is. Joker doesn't have any powers. But, like, you gotta kill the Joker to stop the Joker.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And Thanos had reasoning behind what he's trying to do. Mm-hmm. He's a mad titan, but he tried to save the universe. I'll destroy whole worlds, or at least half of it, to get what I need so I can save the universe, right? Mm-hmm. Stupid and wrong, but that's what he's doing. There's a motivation there. Killmonger, you can find it. Even Ultron. Ultron was so. I still think Ultron is the best and most charismatic villain the MCU has had. Period.
What's his name? Spader.
James Spader.
James Spader.
Blacklist.
Loved.
Body.
He just was so convincing, right? As an AI that like, well, my job is to protect the Earth. That's what you built me for, and the only way to protect the Earth is to save it from you. Mm-hmm. So I got to get rid of you. I got to rebuild this whole joint. And he felt like a straight up threat. He feels like if you go back and you watch Age of Ultron, dog, from the moment that dude puppeteers his way into their living room while they're trying to lift Thor's hammer, dog.
When he took over the Tony,
so that joint gives, I got goosebumps. Oh my God. Just thinking about that joint. He's so dope, bro. I'm like, dog, hey, for real, get rid of Kang, bring back Ultron.
I wouldn't be mad at. Hey, listen, we got What If in the mix. They could easily, even though he got defeated technically, but they could easily smooth him back in.
I'm just saying, like, that is the kind of thing that, like, the next villain really needs to bring to the table. Mm-hmm. Doctor Doom, if Doctor Doom is the next, he has to bring that element of humanity that you can understand his motivations, and in some cases, even question whether or not he's doing the right thing or would you do the same thing. It's what makes Magneto so dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was so stinking scary, bro. Like, I remember being, hey, yo.
Dog, the trailer?
He was a threat.
Hey, listen, when he hit you got the no strings on me and, like, just get that quick little, it wasn't in the movie, but
forget Lies
Welcome,
of
Melford. We just talked about that. We were just talking about that, him being an eye for change.
Yeah. That's what we was talking about. And again, for him to be Beyonder,
I've been saying that for a minute now. I've been saying that for a minute.
There are no strings like
on me.
That was cold. That was a cold line with his voice.
Let me tell you something. as a straight up stone cold threat with straight charisma, best villain in the MCU, Ultron showed up and sang a song, dog.
He did.
Showed up and sang a song to the entire squad in their house, in their living room. Don't tell me Slim's not a threat.
Hey, straight party crasher.
And listen,
Like,
he had his
Shut
monologue,
no
Party
back.
crasher.
walking back
Slim
and forth
dropped
with
the
Tony Back.
country. Well, he dropped the country.
Literally a party crasher.
Bro, he was such a threat. They haven't had nothing like that. They haven't had anything like that. Like on some real, if the Avengers had lost and Thanos showed up and Ultron was running the planet, Thanos would have had a fight on his hands, bro.
Yeah, facts.
Ultron might have beat the brakes off of Thanos. He would have to show up with all the stones, bro.
I was like, he would have made out better than Hulk. Like, even though he had them stones.
Dog, my man was making himself out of vibranium and making other joints. Hey, don't listen. Slim was a threat. Slim went to Wakanda. Slim was a threat. I think he's their best villain, dog, and they need somebody with that kind of whoever they cast, bro, has to be able to carry that weight. You gotta feel something for him. Like, he's an inanimate object. And I was like, hey, that joint like talking that trash right now. Like, come on, bro. Scarlet Witch's whole job is to get in people's heads. Slim was so in her head, dog. Yeah.
That was.
I'm gonna protect the world. I'm gonna put a suit of armor around the world. Like, I got you. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, he's a threat. Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Should they do a West Coast Avengers?
I think that would be a different way for the event. I think they should. I know we've been talking about that for a good while now. Even though like we're building up to like obviously Young Avengers, but I feel like if we start building like these smaller variations of the Avengers to eventually lead up to like say the Avengers, but they don't necessarily have the super gigantic world-ending battles. Like literally, hey, LA is getting ready to be destroyed, kind of like a New York thing where they all have to come. Like I feel like that would be a good way to set it up. And then eventually you have your West Coast Avengers. I say East Coast, but you could say just there is no technical Avengers right now. But I think that could be a good look. The Young Avengers come along when you put them all together. I think
look, if they keep it chill, like I'm ready for like them. Like I'm so amped for Echo, I don't know what to do with myself. Because in terms of like actually taking something and tying it into the MCU, the next best villain they have is Kingpin.
Mm-hmm. And I want Kingpin. I need Kingpin in there.
Monster.
They can make him. They can make him right now a big bad for a good period of time, at least just for like the Earth whatever
Street level,
piece.
The grounded, type of stuff. Yeah,
just put him in there. And look, folks ain't gonna make it out of Echo, and that's
what.
Oh, it's definitely people who not going to survive.
People didn't make it out the trailer.
Folks is not making it out of Echo. Oh,
I'm with it.
Season 2.
Right.
All right. So look, last topic for the day. Let's change gears. Sin.
Si, senor.
2023 might be the best year on record in all pop culture history.
I can't deny that.
Movies, TV, video games, comic books. I don't know, bro. There might not be a better year on record. There was a lot of content, and I feel like 2023 is when a lot of stuff that was supposed to come out 2020, 2021, 2022, COVID pushed it out the way, pushed it back, whatever. And then we got some stuff that was like sort of sloppily handled because we're still in the throes of the pandemic and or because we're just trying to make up time and make things happen. There was so much content in 2023. There's just no way. I mean, it's always like there's never a way to get to it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought the movie releases were kind of Well, I'm going to ask what you saw and what you didn't see. Because I feel like there were most of the stuff that I wanted to see, I saw.
Mhm.
But I do think there were a lot of movies that were really good that either like maybe aren't necessarily my normal genre. Like, not that I'm necessarily going to the theater for, but there was definitely stuff that I missed that I want to see. I think there were a lot of really, really great indie films. Like, film festivals were crazy this year. And a lot of the films that came out of those are the films that are up for Oscar nominations, stuff like that. Stuff people never heard of. Including one that the actor being considered or supposedly being considered for Kang is in. So let's talk backlog. Because backlog has always been an issue for people like us.
1000%.
Collectors, lovers of pop culture, there's so much stuff. How do you get to it all? In a year like 2023, there are definitely things that are on your back burner. So I want to talk about our backlogs a little bit. Sin, I know your backlog is extensive. Stuff that came out in 2023 that you did not get to, that you actually think you're going to get to. I want to give me a little bit of a list. I need the same thing from you, Jokes. Anybody's in the chat, feel free to let me know what you didn't see, what you would have liked to see. And then we're going to try to talk about some ways to get to that backlog and kind of manage it. Sin, hit me. What do we let's do this. Let's start with movies that you wanted to see.
We talking just in the theater or like theater, home, doesn't matter. Just
whatever. Doesn't matter. If it released in 2023 and you didn't get to see it, play it, whatever it is, I want to know about it. I want to know what it is.
All right, most recent one, The Boy and the Heron. Didn't get a chance to see that.
On my list.
So when time comes, I'll fix that. Susan A. I didn't make it to the theater to see that. A little disappointed in myself. But I have access to it, so I'll be watching that sooner rather than later. The trailer looked really, really interesting. I didn't make it to go see it, but I'm looking forward to sitting down. It looks like interesting to me. Cocaine Bear, I need to see it because it's Cocaine Bear. Like, I just haven't gotten to it yet.
2023?
I
don't think Cocaine Bear was 2023. I think that was 2022.
2023?
I thought it was early.
It's
like
2023.
Yeah, I thought it was early.
Early in the year?
Yeah.
Early in the year it was the release date on it. I got the
Clearly, I didn't see that.
If something came out the same day that Cocaine
around the same,
Bear
that I can't think of what it was.
I can't think of what it was, but it was something. Was it? I don't think it was Spider-Man. It may have been Spider-Man. That joke came out.
That just feels dumb.
The Resident Evil Death Island film that they had. Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, it looked dope. Like everybody was in it. Like
24th.
What do you say?
February 24th.
All right. Okay. Cocaine
and
I'm ready.
And Extraction 2 were the ones that I missed this year that I want to sit down to catch up.
Oh, I saw that.
I know
told you.
I know.
I told you to watch that joint. There's some whoopings in that joint, boy. Woo,
I think I'm gonna do I might do a double feature something this weekend. Watch part 1 and go right into part 2. It's just been a minute.
Did you see part 1?
Yeah, it's just been a minute. Yeah.
All right. Nah, don't do that. You don't need to see part 1.
But it was dope, and it was.
I know. But dog, listen, you got backlog to work on. You don't need to do that. This joint is good enough. You don't actually need to watch the first joint. I will say this: after I watched the second joint, I was like, I might have to watch that first joint again. So no lie, not gonna lie to you. However, I don't think it's worth it to watch the first one before you watch the second one, especially if you already seen the first one. I think you just going because it's like the way it's set up. There's like a time gap sort of between it, but it's Zayna said no movies, but never got around to Alice in Borderland season 2. Sweet Home season 2 just came out, and The Glory season 2. But I'm working on that one now, and I'm way behind on K-pop releases. But that's for another day. How? You K-pop every day.
I'm halfway through Sweet Home season 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm halfway through that. That's a ride.
Jokes, what about you?
Of course, the Boy in the Heron, that was one of mine. Godzilla, I did not get to see Godzilla.
Mm.
I need to fix that while that is
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
extended the
Minus,
theater
you talking
run
about
that we
minus
have.
one?
-1, yep.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see John Wick
Ooh.
because I
Four?
hadn't yet, because I haven't watched the last. I still got to watch the last two.
Oh, all right.
So
Oh, we should
that's
just make a day out of that.
yeah,
We should just
and
do a
then
thing.
and fix that. Did Asteroid City come out in 2023? I'm trying to remember.
I don't
I
know.
feel
That
like
sounds like you made it up. That's
Asteroid
John Wick
City,
4. Nice. Good
yeah,
stuff.
Asteroid City. Yeah, I wanted to see that. Like the amount of high profile actors that was in that movie was ridiculous,
I
and
don't even
it
know
was
what that is.
I forget
Let me
exactly.
look at
It
it.
was if I show you the I have to pull up the
I'm looking at. I mean, I'm looking
thing.
at. It's a Wes Anderson joint, so that's all
Yeah,
right.
and it was just a list of folks that were just in that movie, and I was like, it's like I feel like some people are just gonna show up for like 2 minutes and then never be seen in the rest of the movie, like how that all was gonna work out.
All right.
Um, I
I'm with
think
that.
I think those were probably the biggest ones. Like that's
That
probably the
you actually
biggest
wanted to see.
that I would want to see. Like obviously anything MCU, when we saw those. Um, Aquaman, but I feel like I can wait until that junk just shows up on a streaming service.
I
Wasn't really
mean,
amped to go see that.
I'm
Um,
sure.
but I think those are probably the few that I'm.
So for me, probably the biggest joint for me is Oppenheimer.
Uh,
Um, I didn't see Oppenheimer. Um, I didn't see minus one. I'm good with that. I kind of want to see Killers of the Flower Moon. Um, and Silent Night, John Woo joint. I wanted to see that joint. Haven't seen that joint. That is a necessary piece for me.
Okay.
That's probably it for movies that I really like wanted to see. That just felt like, oh, I didn't see Equalizer 3.
Okay.
I know how you feel, Sam.
Yeah, ain't for me. Which is weird.
I mean, I feel like I also kind of like I didn't see Gran Turismo,
I forgot about that.
and I want to give that joint a fair shot. I know you saw it, Sam.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought it was good.
I do want to give that joint a fair shot, but that is a joint that's on the backest of back burners for me.
Okay.
Like that is like with what I want to see. I'll be fine. Like if I don't see that. Let's talk games. What's on your back burner, Sin?
Let's see.
Actually,
From this year, I've been using like this year to kind of go through and clean up some back burner type stuff instead of focusing too much on stuff that kind of just came out. But was it the last Star Wars? The Fallen Order?
Jedi Survivor?
Survivor, yeah. Got that. I barely
You got it, but you didn't play it?
I opened up and like did like the very beginning, but I was playing Gotham Knights. We were playing that. And I was like, no, too similar of gameplay styles. I'm not. I'm gonna drop this to a demo Gotham Knights type deal. I'll come back to it. So I started, but yeah, I haven't done anything in it. That both Like a Dragon, Ishin that came out at the beginning of the year, and Like a Dragon,
The man who embraced his name?
yeah, the man who erased his name. Yeah, haven't had a chance to start those two yet, which are y'all know absolutely huge for me. And honestly, that might be it when it comes to games that I haven't actually touched yet. There's stuff I've started, want to go back to, like a Starfield or something like that. But like as far as things I've wanted to get my hands on that I haven't, those might be the biggest ones that I can think of.
Jokes, you look like you're still looking to see if there's some stuff you want to do.
The biggest one for me right now was the newest Naruto release. I did
Okay.
not get that. Ultimate. What is that?
Ultimate Ninja Storm
Ultimate
4.
Ninja Store. That was probably the biggest one. Like right at the end of the year, I got Star Trek Resurgence. I've been wanting to
Yeah, I
play
saw
that
you playing
for.
that.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to play that for a good while, and it was on a Black Friday sale, so I went ahead copped it until I could finally get to it. I've actually almost played through that junk twice now because it's literally just it's a telltale game. So you're just going through and making the
Yeah, but all
decisions.
right, but dog, well, you're supposed to be telling me stuff that's on your backlog that you didn't get to, and you telling me
Oh
you played through the joint twice. So like, I don't like. What are you talking about?
it's just a piece that was thrown in it. Like it was just a last minute. That's what I'm trying to get at. It was a jump that like literally at the end of the year that I picked up and played through. But
3 other character playthroughs on Baldur's Gate 3, Frosty. That's on your backlog. All right,
okay,
we'll get ready.
but outside of Naruto, I guess
Somebody
the
hit
only
me
other
up. We got a fourth, y'all. Somebody hit me up yesterday. Not even joking. Hit me off the
Okay.
random and it was like, "Oh, y'all was playing? Who y'all?" I was like, "We got a space. What's up?"
thing. But other
Okay.
than that, the only other thing I would say is just because I fall out of love with it is the DLC for Destiny. Like in like
What,
parts
Lightfall?
yeah, parts of me I go back with it for a little bit, but that's probably for me. Like I love Destiny, but it's just gotten to the point now. I don't know if it's the repetition or just not getting what I want. I don't know, but I probably
Listen, I'm
will
just
jump into it just so before the final light or whatever final shape comes out.
let me tell you something, Frosty. Did you buy that Xbox?
I hope you did before them just went on sale.
Now, Slim told me yesterday, he said, "Well, I started playing on PC, but then it came out for Xbox, so I got it. You know, with cloud saves, I was able to just move my character over
Yep.
and keep playing." And I was like, "For
Good, you
real?"
got that on link because
Yeah.
apparently folks is losing their saves on Xbox right
Oof.
now.
Yeah, nah, he's safe. He said it worked out just fine. But you also have to know, Frosty, that he will be joining a game that's already started. And like, how many characters you got, Jokes? Two?
Two. So the main one
Saying how
PlayStation
many you got?
jumped in.
Two?
2. Mhm.
You know how many I got?
Technically 3, but because I had to remake Shorty over in your game.
I remember.
Yeah.
I got two. I got two. I got a monk run. I'm trying. I'm ready. I'm waiting for Frosty.
Hey, I got a what's mine? Ranger.
You're running with a ranger now, ain't you?
Rogue.
You got another ranger?
No, I got a
Oh, you
rogue.
don't get a rogue.
Yeah. Rogue, assassin, ranger. Whatever I decided to go with it after that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So look. Anyone let me Xbox for a little bit? I pay you. I mean, listen. Here's the thing.
I don't got I ain't got an extra one to burn.
I'm gonna call you in a little bit, Frosty. We can talk.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Alan Wake 2.
Mm.
I need to get that joint and play that joint because that is so many people's game of the year. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's on sale still. I was just looking at it. You know why I didn't buy it?
Why?
Because I'm scared. Is that junk?
Hey, I respect it.
But you know what? I've been asking Zaina for like a month. Hey, if I get this joint, you gonna play with me? We gonna play. She like, nah, you can play it. I might watch you play the joint. Yeah. So Alan Wake 2 definitely on my back burner. Chance of Sonar. Downloaded the demo. I need to get that game.
Okay.
I need to get that game. Chance of Sonar. RoboCop.
I'm still.
I heard amazing.
Yeah, like
that was one of those that was like, oh, RoboCop. It's probably not gonna be that, but that turned out that jump.
All right. Look into it after we wrap up.
The Phantom Liberty expansion for Cyberpunk.
Bro, I haven't finished Cyberpunk.
I'm really ready to start.
Over. Like I'm like, all right, let's just do it. So that's a whole other thing. Again, some of my joints that are like way too many hours. And shoot, I just forgot. just forgot. It's not that deep. It's a lot. Like that's a lot. Like
Right.
that's a lot in and of itself. So figure out how I'm gonna get to those with what's coming, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when Suicide Squad drop,
Yeah, I got to get a Judgment out the way. Finish Judgment. I have to.
you better.
I got to.
What about TV?
And I'm gonna say this right
For
now.
me, for real, the only major thing for me personally for TV from last year is what's the boys spinoff?
Gen V.
Gen
V.
Gen V.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the only joint that I'm like, I really need to watch this joint. I'm hearing incredible things about the new Percy Jackson show, but it just dropped, so like I don't really feel bad about that. It's not really back burner for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's mostly it for me for TV, because I just don't really watch a lot of TV, and what I am watching like right now is stuff that's technically back burner, stuff that I'm playing catch up on anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like years worth of seasons behind. So that's probably just not gonna happen, realistically. What about y'all? I know y'all got animes and more.
Anime is definitely complete that backlog, but for me, the main one, Star Trek. Strange New World season 2.
Hold on, real quick. That new Pokemon joint, Pokemon Concierge.
Oh, I've been hearing it. I haven't watched. I was gonna watch it tomorrow, but
it's on my
everybody
back
is. That joint
on
got
my
like
back burner.
100 on Rotten Tomatoes right now,
bro. And let me just be very clear. Let me make this known again for the first time in 2024. I do not care about Pokemon at all. I don't care. I won't play the games. I'm not gonna play the games. Dog, I want to watch this show so bad.
They saying he need to play Arceus, and I bet you he gonna get hooked.
What are you talking about, dog?
Pokemon.
If there was any, it's not gonna happen. But if there was anyone, it's gonna be that one. Just because I actually like that one over that other crap one I wasted $60 on.
Why don't I play Pokemon, son?
Because you have an addictive personality with stuff like that, going around catching Galadriel. You're gonna have to catch them all, and you don't have the time. You got way other more games you'd rather be playing right now to take time to dive into that.
Not gonna do it. So let me ask you a question, Sin. Do I gamble?
No.
Have you ever seen me gamble? Do I gamble?
No.
Same reason. I'm just not doing it. Not getting in there and messing around with that. Not happening. Pokemon is like gambling to me. That's why I don't even buy packs of cards.
When I was playing Arceus, I didn't get past the early part.
I had
to keep collecting these dudes.
The last time I got any cards that I purchased, I just bought a box. I just bought the box. The whole box. I was like, give me the box. Whatever's in the box I get. Whatever's not in the box, that's it. Give me the box. And I only did it because Jose Jaro had cards in that joint. That was it. I opened every pack. Whatever I ain't get, I ain't get. Done. That's how it goes. All right, let's talk back burner TV, because then we're gonna figure out how we get into it, and we gotta shut the show down because I have stuff to get to. I got backlog to get to. First of all, Zaina, you don't blame me for how you do photo cards. I told you that I collected cards. We had this discussion. You ain't teaching me nothing new about you. Thinking she teaching me something about cards and top loaders. Nah, been there, done that. All of that. Was so addicted.
Right. Me and TV as far as my backlog.
You know how hard it is to find a card shop in North Carolina, in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, dog. She did it though. Got them cards, bro. It's real out there. Go ahead, Sam.
I know I have a lot of stuff that I'm missing right now as far as TV and anime, but I would say for the most part I did good with keeping up on current stuff each season, watching it. So I don't think my backlog is that high when it comes to anime, but I'll find out, in a week or so. But right now, it's Eminence in the Shadow season 2. Supposedly the season was on fire, and I haven't had a chance to really start it yet. Can't believe Tokyo Revengers I haven't even touched yet, and I heard that season was really, really good. So I gotta get the Tokyo Revengers. MF Ghost I'm looking forward to. It's like the continuation of Initial D, which I'm currently watching, so I can go through that and
You're
watch.
watching Initial D?
Yeah, rewatching it. I watched like the first 10 episodes at work today. Yeah, because
right.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this MF Ghost because it's the sequel to it all. So
yeah, that's
just
fair.
Go back down.
I would
lane.
consider that.
Yeah. I'm thinking that might be it because all the other animes I'm thinking of right now, I've already started. I'm just got to get the last like 4 episodes or so. TV wise, Daryl Dixon. Didn't get a chance to stop and catch up on that. Dead City, same thing with that. Only watched like the first episode, but I need to go back and get to that because Rick and Michonne's show's getting ready to drop.
I'm not missing.
And it was something else. The Continental. I didn't get a chance to watch that miniseries, so I do want to sit down and watch The Continental.
Okay.
It was something. Reacher. I know season 2 just dropped like last week or something.
I can already say. I thought you was already watching Reacher because I already know.
Yeah, season 1 I watched. Season 2 I gotta start.
That giant dude.
Oh yeah, he a beast.
Shot.
Yeah, he a beast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's as far as what I think of right now. I think that's it for me as far as those
jokes. What you got?
The first one, Star Trek: Strange New World season 2. Never got to watch that. Hijack, Idris Elba. I heard amazing things. Never got to watch that. Anime, since I'm kind of in the same place you are. Like I started older animes, honestly, backlog from ages and ages ago. But, normally I would be watching like my Super Sentai. I haven't been able to keep up with those because now, unfortunately, they don't do Western releases for the majority of those. They're just now starting to do it. But there were a couple.
Dog. Let me just make sure I understand. New Super Sentai? All right.
But unfortunately, they don't do subtitles, and there were groups that were doing it for fans in the West. Toei and all of them shut them all down. So nobody has subtitles anymore to kind of go like I can sit and watch and piece stuff together, but I'd rather not.
I'm pretty sure I could find what you're looking for.
Try if you can. Please do. I'll give you names. This will make it easy.
I mean,
but
that's not. I mean, technically, I wouldn't consider something to really be on your backlog if technically it hasn't released for you. You know what I'm saying? Like it just. I wouldn't even like to be honest. Mentally, I wouldn't even let that bother me then because it's like you don't really have to because it ain't like when it comes, it comes. You know what I'm saying? Now, if somebody gets their hands on it and it magically shows up somewhere, now it's in your backlog. But right now, it's not. But now it's like not there because you technically don't have access to it, quote unquote. I wouldn't even necessarily consider that to be part of your backlog. I'd be more concerned with the stuff that you do have that you can technically get your hands on.
Oh, heck, Fear. I forgot about Fear the Walking Dead. I never started the final season.
Bro, I'm so off of Fear the Walking Dead.
I know that's the first time I've ever heard you say, oh, heck. So I'm going to click that. I'm gonna click that. You know what? Armored Core shit.
I thought about that the other day. Like, while the sales going on,
it was on sale, dog.
Should I just pull the trigger?
I don't have time for that joint. That's the other thing. It's like I can spend the money and get it while it's on sale, but I'm like, I don't have time.
Those are the two problems.
I ain't really worried about the storage. I'm not really worried about the storage. There's ways around that. There's ways around that. Still, I will tell you this: as far as your storage is concerned, at least if you have regular storage, not necessarily storage that you can play directly from, you know, you can USB, you know, whatever. But if you move stuff that's on your hard drive, or if you did you ever get the extra card, the card for the back of your Xbox?
Never got the extra card.
All right, so you messed up there.
Yeah.
You need to do that. But if you move stuff off the internal, even if you move it to the regular storage, like a regular USB, even if you can't play it, it is much faster to move it off the USB back to the hard drive so you can play it than it is to re-download it. So I wouldn't remove it. I would just move it over.
Yeah.
So even if you don't spend a ridiculous amount of money to get, their card, you could at least get a fast USB drive at a relatively cheap price, add that on, and then you're just moving it back and forth, and it's much faster. So it's not as bad. I will tell you that. Is that pretty much it?
I'm sure there's more, but I think so for right now.
All right. So show's running long. I just want to find out from you, Sin, how do you intend to get to your backlog? What is your technique?
The biggest, one thing about getting to my backlogs, if it's like, hey, this is season 3 I'm watching, I like to revisit the season before, since I do watch so much different anime and shows and stuff like that. I will forget stories and plot lines and stuff like that. So most of the time what I will do is I'll download the files or whatever, take it to work, watch it on my tablet, because fortunately I can do that, at my job. So I can just put it on my tablet, and I'll go through like the previous seasons I'm trying to catch up on, and then when I get home, we put the new season on TV and just go through it.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
And then the same thing when I lay down and go to sleep, I just put the tablet right there. All right, episode 14, and just watch until I start to fall asleep, cut it off, and rinse and repeat.
Okay. What about your games?
The games.
The thing I find is that like games, there's so many. I mean, obviously, look, if you're watching an entire season of something, right? Then if let's say there's 13 episodes, you're looking at somewhere close to 12 hours usually. You know what I'm saying, or something like that, give or take, to watch it all. But a game, depending on the game, I mean, a lot of games. I mean, look, if you just Baldur's Gate alone, hundreds of hours, right? So depending on what you do, how you play, whether or not like a lot of us have that completionist spirit. You want to do everything. Like y'all know how I am. Like I don't even want to complete a joint until I get everything done. Like I could not dedicate time to anything but Spider-Man to do that. Like I was like everything getting done. Everything's getting done, right? I want to go back to God of War now that they added the new joint to it. I want to go back to the new God of War. And I don't even really like roguelikes, but like for what they did and the way they updated it, there's so much you can do with it now, and it gives you reasons to play with like the other weapons they give you and all that kind of stuff that just like I actually kind of want to revisit that joint.
What I do a lot of times, depending on the game I'm watching, like Initial D would be perfect right now. I'd have Initial D running right here and playing like Devil May Cry or something over here. Yeah, doing something like that. Just have it running.
If you got to be able to pay attention to the story or read what they're talking about or really got to listen, like I can't do that.
I'll put on dub, and it'll be something like say I'm recapping something. I won't do new episodes like that, but stuff I'm recapping. Okay, yeah, I've seen like the first half of it, and I forgot like some elements. Yeah, all right, let's just run that here till I get to the point. Then let's blow it up on the big TV, and
I mean, look, that's the interesting way of being able to do it. And I guess it's really good that you have that ability to be able to kind of do that at work. For me, I'm only going back and rewatching like the season before it.
Yeah.
If I'm watching the new season and I'm like, hold on, wait, what? Like if watching the news, I'm also kind of like if watching the new season doesn't trigger my memory, you know what I'm saying, or give me enough, like I'm not gonna go back and rewatch it. Like I just feel like I don't know, from reading comic books, I just love the way that comic books would always give you like the little yellow joint in the corner, whatever, where they would like refer or whatever to something if they were talking about something like you maybe didn't see or whatever, which is good when there's a good possibility you never got to read that book or something like that. Now you know where it is and where it comes from and can represent. But for me, like I'm gonna watch the second season or the third season and I'm just going straight in, and unless I just was that in love with it that I just really want to watch it again anyway. But if I'm like ready to go into the next season, I'm gonna go into that next season, and that joint needs to be good enough that I don't feel like I have to go back to watch something from the other season in order to feel like I'm caught up, you know what I'm saying, on what's going on in the season or not lost. So that I can't do. I just gotta, like pick a time. I have to just be like, all right, well, Fridays I'm playing backlog. Like that might just have to be what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That might just have to be what it is. Like I'm just like, all right, if I'm playing games on a Friday, it's gonna be a backlog. If I'm watching something on a Friday, it's gonna be backlog. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like that might be the only way I can do it. I might have to interrupt playing something else, play something else throughout the week, play on the weekend, Saturdays and Sundays or whatever, play new stuff, you know, other things like that that come out. Unless again, something fresh comes out, like when Suicide Squad comes out. If we're gonna man up and run 4 players, Friday night might be the time when we have to do it. You know what I mean? But otherwise, it'll be like, well, it's gonna be Sundays or something like that, right? Where I'm just gonna be like, all right, that's when I'm doing new stuff. Everything else is gonna be a different day. You know what I mean? I might just have to dedicate a particular day of the week to doing backlog stuff. You know what I mean? That's how I'm feeling, right? I think that's the only way I'll personally be able to
Saturdays
tackle
become my
it.
binge day, where I'll take like one show and just run through it. Saturdays is like kind of become that for me. Like get up,
Right.
all right, go get stuff, and Saturday, all right, we're running One Piece. Let's just
which is
go get
sweet when you know, like you're always off Saturday, you're always off Sunday. You know what I mean? And then you can be occasional, like it's a 3-day weekend because it's government or something like that, right? And you get that extra day or whatever. For me and Jokes, where our schedules can be way more sporadic than that. Like Jokes, you do get one regular day, right?
Majority off. Saturdays are my day off. During the holidays, it was a little iffy, obviously. But typically right now, like Saturday is the one day that I know definitely that I'm off for. And like
but that also means, right, that like those Saturdays that are definitely off, like you have to be like you have a significant other that you need to make sure you plan stuff with, you know what I mean, with doing stuff like that. So again, unless you're planning to do something that has to do with your backlog together, as far as that's concerned, your Saturdays, I don't want to say they're usurped, but I don't know that would necessarily be a great day for you to be able to dedicate to your backlog, right? Because you need to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, like you can spend that time. We don't really have that problem.
Yeah, sometimes it is catching up on stuff at the same time. Like, I've gone through What If. Like, I'm gonna sit and watch it again with Tatiana so we can power through the last few episodes. Because I know, Boo, you seen like what the first half of What If? Yeah. So we'll probably end up tomorrow. Yeah, What If is fire. So we can get through.
Ooh, do we have things to talk about on Spoiler Boys? That What If, bro. It starts out slow.
Woo. Midway through, that gear gets shifted.
Facts.
Anyway, all right. Well, listen, we're gonna wrap the show up so we can get to our backlogs. And talk about some other things, to be truthful. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Again, send if you could get the Beacons link up, that would be great. Beacons link coming for you guys one more time. From the Beacons link, you can hit our Patreon, or just go straight to patreon.com/loading snacks. That's running across the top of the screen. Almost the whole show. It ran almost the whole show. Y'all don't know. Ran almost the whole show. Yeah, look, we are seriously looking forward to this year and what this year is bringing. We have so much on the books. It's kind of ridiculous right now. And there are things that I know are supposed to be on the books that are currently missing from the books that are probably going to pop up. They are very populated. The next couple of months are super heavy. They're super, super heavy. So we're going to be very busy going into the warm season. And then once it gets warm, it calms down, but it doesn't slow down. So it just is. And then, we have some content to make. We're going to be kind of trying to change focuses and kind of getting back into doing some of the other content creation that we started out doing with Loading Snacks. So look forward to that. Again, next week, when we come back, we're going to be talking about our favorite things from 2023. So we're not going to be talking about the things we missed. We're talking about the things we really enjoyed. Our favorite things individually. And we'll be looking to get some info from some guests on that as well. So Please jump in, hang out with us next Tuesday to talk about our favorite things from 2023. And then get ready, because after that, we have Nerd Prom on the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
We have MagFest the following weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it just keeps going. KatsuCon, we have a panel. Like it just keeps going. So, Sin, if you would do your job, please.
Yes, let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbaye, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
What I'm looking for is for that list to get so long, Sin can't memorize it. That's what I'm looking for.
That's
and
that's
that
what
we have to find another way to help folks, because you know what I mean, we're gonna have to do it a different way. We ain't gonna be able to announce it. We just gonna have to run it across the screen.
Just going across.
Just going across.
Yeah. Something along those lines. Thank you to everybody who is supporting, not just at the top, but everybody. But thank you so much for continuing to support us. Jokes, please, for the first time in 2024, that's not true. For the first time on Weekly in 2024, tell the people what I need them to hear.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we are out. Toodles and Loos.
Loading snap.